great customers all weekend long. We're going, going to these places and bringing pizza. So yeah, that part of the business is, like I said, grown. It's been very nice for us. And then the other side is the retail customer, right? I know that comes from marketing and, social media. And I mean, you know well yourself, the different channels to bring that kind of type of guest in.
Tell me about social media.
Social media. So when we first started this, and I'm going to say started a business, when we were putting together the business plan, right? Like we had, these three revenue streams. We had the schools, we had the B2B, we sold the wholesale accounts. And then, we had the direct to consumer, right? And we, had this picture of like, okay, they're all going to grow in unison, like equally and whatnot. When we started, we really saw like just from, again, the opportunity I said with the schools, like that market has grown so quick, and we kind of really had to put our attention there. And like, we started last May with 200 pies, week over week on all our business. And, we're projecting like next week, we should be somewhere around 7,000. So like the business has grown dramatically.
From 200 pies to 7,000?
7,000. Yeah. And
7,000 pies a week?
7,000 pies a week. Yeah.
Come on. You have enough robots for that? No wonder you're opening up more facilities.
Yeah. We just purchased a lot more equipment, within the past few months, stacking different machines together for, we have some stuff for like higher throughput, sauce, cheesers and all that. But, it's a pretty cool operation. We'll see if we have enough, we're, we just keep adding on to it. But yeah, so we'll be doing 7,000. And I forgot actually what the original where we were
tell
going
me
with
about
this.
the 7,000. These are all Hot Rocks pizza ovens, or is it a combination of other pieces of equipment? Because like that's a huge contract with a brand. I mean, that's a lot of trust. We use Old Hickory pits for our barbecue, and we went from 1 pit to 2 pits, and now we have 4 pits. I wish we were doing 7,000 racks of ribs a week.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, we're pretty closer to the Hot Rocks team. I mean, they've been good to us. We've started with our first oven in May, and like I said, we just got 4, 5, and 6 installed. It was just last week. So so far so good. We like them. We plan on growing with them. But yeah, and to jump back to your original question, I remember with social media. So the wholesale side of the business grew very fast, and we didn't get a lot of time to really spend on the retail consumer. So just now with summer slowing down some of the school business, and have a little more time on our hands. We've partnered with Targetable. We use them for our social, our organic social, as well as paid ads, and we've just been starting to ramp up that past few months. So it's going well.
Do they do creative for also?
Yeah, they do creative. It's funny, all these things, I'm a very hands-on person, right? I like doing stuff myself. I have Photoshop, I have all these apps. I'm not like an expert in any of them, but I enjoy it. And, I always just get caught up in it. I'm like, all right, this, what I'm taking 2 hours for, these guys can do in 10 minutes. So we all afford it. Yeah, they do all their creative, or most of it. We have photographers coming in, at least just give them some of the content to work with. But they do our creative, they do our posting. It's been going well. That's a part of the business. We've started like a few times where we'll go hard with like, all right, let's get good on Instagram. Let's do reels once a week, right? It's cool. Like, they start trending, you watch how many viewers you have. But it's something you really just have to stay consistent with. And, there's so many moving parts. So it's tough. So it's working well. I like just having them, it's consistent 3 times a week. They're posting, we don't have to worry about it. And then, if there's something cool in the middle of it, we'll post ourselves. But, at least we have a consistent, voice on our organic channels.
Huge news. Toast, our primary technology partner at our barbecue restaurants in San Diego, and the primary technology partner of so many of the guests that we have on this show, have announced they are expanding their business offerings with Google. So now if you search on Google Maps and you sign up for Toast Tables or Toast Waitlist, you will have the opportunity to improve the digital hospitality experience of the guest, allow them to book through the maps into the Toast reservation system. One of the biggest difficulties that restaurant guests have is when they search for your restaurant and they want a table, They do not have an easy solution to book a table or to get on a wait list. This is huge news for the restaurant industry, huge news for guests, and huge news for you, the restaurant owner. Check out Toast Tables today and find out the new integrated solution that they have. This is something that we've wanted for a long time. How do you integrate reservations, wait lists into your point of sale? Toast has done it. Check it out. Have you gotten any pushback from the other
Yeah,
pizza shop owners?
so pizza shop owners, not too much. I can think of maybe one or two very small examples, but pushback, we've got a lot from the consumers. So when we
Really?
first opened up, our thing was, automation, right? I mean, I think it's like the coolest thing in the world. My partners, think so as well. And when we first opened up, we put on our windows this big vinyl rendering of like, what we're gonna have, and they always bring robots and everything. We've got a lot of interest from press. We're on, all like the mainstream media channels, NorthJersey.com, a bunch of newspapers and an online presence. And like initially there was just huge pushback. Like we were like taken back. It's like people just hated it, they wanted what I think we failed to do a little bit in the beginning, a little bit of a learning lesson is I don't think we pushed out really the authenticity and like the quality, right? We just went out on this like automation. Like, I mean, you remember when Easy Pass first came out, like nobody went in those toll lanes, right? Everyone boycotted it. They didn't want it. And, now you can't live without it.
Are you talking about the toll booth operator?
The toll booth, yeah.
Oh, people want it.
I don't know if they're called Easy Pass nationally, but yeah. Nobody wanted to go through those the lanes with the tag, right? Everyone wanted boycotted it. So same thing like Amazon, right? There's a lot of pushback on Amazon. There still is. Came about. People will adopt it. It'll take time, but we went with this like very strong foot forward on automation. And what we saw, especially just being in the New Jersey, New York market, people didn't see like the authenticity behind it, right? They weren't aligned with it. So we, a lot of like comments like, no, thank you, get this out of here. They're going to fail. I have so many of them saved. I just print out. I just can't wait one day to like, make a cool post about it in like 5 years. Like, like those stories when you first start up and,
that's why we document. That's why we document everything.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's motivation for sure. But, what we failed to do obviously as a brand was really push out there like, hey, this is a quality product at a lower price point. And it's, it's made differently, but it's made with the consumer in mind, right? Like, the automation that we have is, of course, listen, there's business advantages to it, right? We bring it out for that, but there's also consumer advantage, right? You get a consistent product every time, right? It's not going to be extra cheese one time and light cheese another time. It's going to be the same amount of cheese, right? Because the machines are much more consistent than a hand operator. We're able to deliver a better product. We're able to deliver it way faster. We're able to deliver at a lower price point, and it's still that quality product. I always give this example, right? I have a cousin in Canada, and the first time he came down, I talk to him all the time, and we talked about the business and whatnot. But the first time he came down, he tried it, like, wow, this is actually really good. Which like it just shows like the initial perception is it may not be, or it's just going to be like a manufactured product. So that was like an obstacle that we had to overcome. And like when I tell you like pushback, like man, you go on some of these, you can still look at it. Some of the initial press releases, the comments are like terrible. But we've really changed the brand voice a little bit. We worked with Targetable on that. Like, all right, let's hold back. I'm not saying to hide behind the automation. That's what
you
we
work
do,
with
right? That's our
Targetable on
model.
that? Yep.
Yeah, but let's really push quality, right? Let's really push some of the other pillars of our brand that are important that we want the consumers to see. And the automation is just how we do it, right? That's not who we are. We aren't just this automated brand. And at the end of the day, like the consumers don't care as much about that as they care about getting delicious pizza. But yeah, fast forward like a year and a half, like word of mouth spreads. Like people come here, they love it. They we get good reviews online, and people in like the Facebook groups and we do tons of events with the community. I'm sure too, like how important that is. And word of mouth gets out, and they see we're not just these like robots that are like running this company, right? We're like very involved with the community. We got families, we got kids. Like we love our customers, and we just took a different approach to doing things. So yeah, a lot of pushback. It was interesting. There was definitely like the first few times we're like, oof, a little okay, are we sure we want to do this? This is like a little crazy. Like I feel like everyone's opposing you, but it's cool to have like, gotten through that and, or at least like getting through that, and being able to, there's a lot of people that like stick up for us and like, no, you guys got to try it though. It's really good. Like the owners are super friendly. And we got that image out there.
So one of the coolest things about for me for doing this show is it allows me to connect with people like you, people all over the globe that are running these incredible hospitality businesses. It also allows us to connect with hospitality technology companies that help restaurant operators like yourself and myself. You shared a story with me that I was hoping you could share with the audience, but anything that you've implemented recently that's been game changing that doesn't have to do with pizza, but has to do with the business of pizza?
Yeah. So, we talked about the back of house tech and automation. But, there's the above store, there's the front of house technology. And, we are committed to being like a tech forward brand, right? We believe that helps us and enables us to, do what we're doing. And, our slogan is like the future of pizza, right? And I think that fits appropriately. Yeah, the story you're mentioning, I've seen, you post a few times about Davo. Am I pronouncing that right? Davo?
Yeah, it's Davo.
So Davo, I remember the first time you posted it, I was like, it's interesting. Like, what's the point of that, right?
Sales tax automation.
Background. Just to give a background for the listeners that haven't heard of it, Davo is exactly like you said, sales tax automation, right? Files it for you. And, whatever. I didn't think much of it, but, a funny story. I mentioned we started last May. We actually just got some financing from like a New Jersey nonprofit organization. We needed sales tax clearance. So I'm going through it. I'm like, oh shoot, like, we haven't filed for like last 3 quarters our sales tax. And like I said, a lot of our business is tax exempt and stuff like that. So, whatever. I figured, you file when for the tax season and it's fine. But I realized there's some fees and interest that come along with that. And I mean, I was like, wow, this is terrible. Just going through the numbers and trying to figure out where everything is. So I remember, you mentioned, I looked into it and I was like, I couldn't really figure out how it would work. Cause like, how are they going to file it for me?
Yeah.
And, like, cause you have to put in your taxable income, non-taxable income. But, I mean, lo and behold, we signed up. It was super, super simple process. It took like 5 minutes and, like so quick that I was a little skeptical. Like, am I onboarded already or is there more to this? Man, every day they take out a little bit of money out of our bank for the sales tax. Like that's the one thing I look at the bank every morning and I like smile. That's the only debit that comes out of there. I'm like, this is great. That's one less thing to worry about. I mean,
one less thing. They're doing their job.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, no, they're kudos to them, man. It's such a great idea. I mean, I think it's like $50 a month. I mean, it's you can't go wrong there. But yeah, I mean, just on the other side, right? I know we're both mutual users of Ovation. Zach and the team there, they're awesome. Like, love Ovation. While we're on the subject of tech, right? They released their call to text. I believe that's the term for it. But for those listening, like someone calls in, right? The store right now, thank you for calling pt.2. This is Jay. I'm gonna help you. Where Ovation has this feature now where you call in, like to place an order, press 1. You press 1, and you get a text message with the online ordering link. I've probably for like the past 4 weeks, I talked to Derek like a month ago and I've just been back and forth and Rev, I talked to him about it. I've been picking everyone's brain. I'm like, do we do this? Like, I don't want to disappoint the consumer. I feel like pizza is a little bit of a different industry than, like a Chipotle, right? Everyone knows you have to order online Chipotle or you go there and it's ready in like 5 minutes. We're a little bit longer of a ticket time. We're about 10 to 12 minutes. So and people are accustomed to calling in their, Friday night dinner at the pizzeria. Finally, I just, I pushed over the edge like the last few days, just talking to people and not. So we're onboarding that, but like, things like that, right? It's important to, at the end of the day, look, we're in the hospitality industry and it's important to make sure that, while all this new tech is coming out and evolving that, we do think of the consumers first, right? And how they, the consumer experience, right? That's the most important part, before like the efficiency and how it helps the operation. But, there's a lot of cool new software, a lot of cool new platforms coming along. I mean, Ovation's an awesome one just with guest reviews and, being able to hear the voice of the customer, right? I mean, there's customers that leave a 4-star that, just say, hey, maybe something was wrong and maybe it happened like 3 or 4 times. They give us like a 4-star, but like, they would never go and review it online. It's just not important enough, but that helps us know, hey, there's a kink in our process. We've been forgetting something. We're able to hear that voice of the customer. And, it's more and more important, especially as you go more digital and have online ordering and, there's less interaction with the guests to be able to, really get a feel for their pulse on, their level of satisfaction with you, your brand. and whatnot.
Can you share some advice with any new dads or new moms that are in the hospitality business and how to balance our crazy lives with our family life?
Let's put it this way: if your spouse isn't supportive, just don't do it. No.